women entrepreneurship is pretty bright looking in India when we look at it. There are a lot of corporates where we see women at very high position, but still it only makes it to 14%. There's a lot more potential where people can achieve.
Remember the movie English Winglish? In a first class, Sashi is asked about her profession. Unable to coherently define in limited words, she narrates her work profile as making snacks and laddus to sell in the market. The teacher then summarizes her occupation in one word: entrepreneur. A people who does business, an innovator who shapes the economy by infusing wealth, time, and energy, the fourth factor of production who adds value to the entire socio-economic system. Knowing her identity, Sasi feels elated, confident, motivated, and energized. She pronounced the word till she gets it absolutely right, till the time it prelocates down to the innermost recess of her mind. She was doing the same work all her life, still hearing and being referred as an entrepreneur, attached her new meaning to her modern life. Sasi is not alone. She is a representative of plethora of women working worldwide, adding value to their ecosystem, and is still unaware of this magnetic field they are subconsciously creating for the world to prosper. With more than 163 million women entrepreneurs worldwide today, the startup community is undergoing rapid change globally. The entrepreneurial phenomena has donned multiple hats, from being a catalyst of the economy one hand to a disruptor of the established system on the other. Hello and welcome to the Honest Talk by Feek folks. I'm Harsh Pandey. For this particular session, we have with us very special guest, Miss Kanwaljeet Kaur ma'am. She is a qualified chartered accountant, certified fraud examiner, managing director and trainer at CAP as Solutions Private Limited, New Delhi. She is a proactive, result-oriented individual. She have an experience in the major aspects of accounting, financial management, as well as the forensic accounting. She has started a venture from the scratch and made it globally brand today. This was possible due to her never to give up approach and constantly trying to achieve the higher standards of quality. Her success lies in team management, and she strongly believes that your team and your customers are your biggest assets. And ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, her profile has so many things, so many glories, which I won't be able to explain in next few minutes. But I'm pretty sure in this conversation, we are going to learn a lot from her. So first of all, ma'am, I welcome you to in this session. Thank you so much for joining and agreeing to share your thoughts with us.
My pleasure to be here, Harsh.
Thank you, ma'am. So moving to the topic of today's session, which we have chosen is boosting women's entrepreneurship and economic leadership. Though women entrepreneurship in India isn't new, Indian business has come a long way. There are numerous Indian companies listed on the Fortune 500 and a huge number of Indian billionaires. Some on the list are especially inspiring because they managed to make their fortune during British rules when the environment was not inclusive and conducive for the business, and particularly for the Indian businesses. The one who succeeded in that environment went the extra mile to succeed. And my first question to you is, how do you see the role of women entrepreneurship in India? And also, how do you see the future of women entrepreneurship in India?
So women entrepreneurship is pretty bright looking in India when we look at it. There are a lot of corporates where we see women at very high position, but still it only makes it to 14%. There's a lot more potential where people can achieve. When we look at the higher position in the corporate like CEOs and CFOs, there are few women who are definitely leading the corporate, but there's a long way to go. And in very near future, we'll see more and more women touching that heights, reaching to the top hierarchies. When it comes to entrepreneurship, unfortunately in India, still there's a lot more to achieve. Again, not much. 10 to 14% is actually the total number where women entrepreneurs are there. Whereas we have lot more potential, especially when we look at the micro sector, grassroots level. That's the area where I see more potential for women entrepreneurs to come and join. Apart from SMEs, the grassroots level is something where women can achieve more and more. and they have a lot more potential to achieve there. So that is what my brief take on it.
Indeed, ma'am. Actually, I think you have given a very, you have actually summarized the things which are around us. My next question to you is, we have seen this, from, because we all have seen from Lijjat Papad, Amul, or other microfinance funded small home-based businesses, women have been at the forefront, but this trend has slowly spilled over to white-collar jobs as well. As you have
Correct.
mentioned, of late, women are also making inroads and into senior management roles in many businesses. With the startups like Xiaomi, Imbibe, Grabhouse, the Label Crop, and the Lime Road, among others, they are making their presence felt in the online space too. We can see many examples of budding women entrepreneurs who are challenging the perception of being actually business being a man's cup of a tea. So, ma'am, my question to you is: do you believe that enough has been done for the women entrepreneurship in the past 10 years?
Uh, well, I can only summarize that yes, lot of things have been done, which was not there 10 years back. However, still lot more to achieve. Two major challenges, what I see, one that challenge related to financial literacy, secondly, the digital literacy.
All right.
So these are two areas where women needs more and more empowerment, especially if government and the regulatory bodies can help more with the financing option for women. Because whenever it comes to take a loan for business, women get stuck because of their insufficient credit history, or maybe because of mortgage issues or something or other. And unfortunately, when women wants to prove something in the field of business, whether they want it or they don't want it, they have to really deal with the competition with men. When
Exactly.
it comes to banker, if a women say that I want to start a business, probably then they're always little skeptical on that front, which ideally should not be the case.
Correct.
So if a person has a potential, they, regardless of the gender, they can still prove a lot.
Exactly.
So yes, in last 10 years, quite a lot has been done, but still there are a lot more to achieve.
Indeed.
Especially the finance part and mentoring part is slightly missing for women entrepreneurs, where I see more needs to be done.
Indeed, ma'am. As you have very rightly mentioned, and we have seen the business world has changed dramatically over the last few decades, and now we are living in a connected society where change can be fast-paced, constant, and unpredictable. Rapid advance in technology have created an environment where the internet, smartphones, and the social media are ubiquitous, and the 2008 global financial crisis and 2020 pandemic has increased the sense of turbulence, danger, and unpredictability in the certain areas. Ma'am, let's be more specific. In your opinion, what are the critical skills required to excel in this fast-changing world, apart from financial literacy and digital literacy?
See, digital literacy, why I stress more and more, because last 2 years been really, really tough for all of us globally. And again, if you look at the statistics, there's an interesting survey by McKinsey, which says that pandemic has hit everybody hard. However, globally, 59% female have lost their jobs. When it comes to their jobs, when it comes to their businesses, they were badly hit. That is why I'm stressing more on digital literacy, because more and more pandemic is not going anywhere. I mean, we are not sure when it's gonna be going. So that is where I stress more, because e-commerce is a field which is really boom, and
Exactly.
it's gonna be something which is gonna be in demand for future as well. The more women get into e-com field and digital field, it will be beneficial for them. Also looking at their role and responsibility, because they have to always handle family and work together,
Right.
juggling with family, kids, their online studies, and a lot more responsibility. The online segment is an area where they can achieve quite a lot. You talk about Nika, now how it started. It started from home, and see where Nika is today. There are lot many examples where female have started during their break, when they have taken their corporate break because of the kids, because of the family. They thought about new business idea and they come up with it. So online segment is a segment where I see more potential in future. So that's where I would stress more on that. One more area which is kind of unexplored or very less explored area for female is the area which I belongs to, investigation.
All right.
So that is, I always keep saying that fraud will never go out of fashion.
Exactly.
Fraud is there today, it's gonna be there tomorrow, it's gonna be more and more and more in future.
And yes.
In last 2 years, what has not stopped and has gone up is frauds during
Exactly.
pandemic period also. So if a female can get into these kind of fields like cyber security, investigation, these are the area which will be quite a good skill to achieve. And that's something which you can achieve sitting at home or doing a distance learning programs also. But that's an area where I see a lot more potential, especially when you are connected to the corporates.
Indeed. Indeed, ma'am. I think this was really a very meaningful answer from your side, and you have stressed on these skills that is actually, I've seen not very much people discuss this that women need to enter into this field of investigation, and this is something I'm very happy that you have actually taken this point. And my next question to you is, or actually, we have to actually admit this. It's the destiny of our future graduates to tackle some of the society's most urgent and pressing challenges. Entrepreneurs have the power to save the world by developing versatile skill sets and profitable business that are crucial to the progress of our economies. But just how one does learn to be successful entrepreneur? How do we inspire our young people to go out there and keep learning so they can make their mark on the world? Do you see? Do we need to dedicate more resource for the formation of entrepreneurial environment within higher education environment that foster progressive ideas and innovation and equip students with the practical knowledge and skills they need to navigate the choppy water of business ownership?
I certainly do. In fact, very interestingly, Mr. Narendra Modi ji has stressed that we should we should think like an entrepreneur. Even if we have to fry pakoras, it's fine. It's a business. I mean, I personally have seen a lot of educated people having their cart selling chola bhatura and pakora and stuff. And I think it's absolutely great business.
Right.
We talk about food. Food is a business which is recession proof,
Exactly.
and there's no harm. So I definitely agree that the entrepreneurship and the related concept should be introduced at the school level itself. Theoretical studies definitely is required, but that is not sufficient, at least in today's dynamic world. The
Hmm.
more and more entrepreneur skills we learn, the better we will become in future. From very early childhood, we've been told that you have to study because you have to do job. And that's what's been happening since last
Exactly.
many years. And I don't see much has changed today also. I mean, I've seen a lot of parents around me who
Yes.
keep telling that if you will not study, maybe
Right.
drive auto rickshaw and all that, and you have to fry pakora, which I personally think it's nothing wrong about it, isn't it? Though I'm not motivating kids not to study, but
Right.
it's a business, correct? So then the practical skills should be introduced at the school level itself. The kids should be taught that you can always offer job or business as per your skill set, as per resources you have, and also as per the interest.
Yes.
Entrepreneurship can be either a necessity or it can be an interest.
Hmm.
So rather than making it as a necessity, we can create more and more interest towards this.
Right.
That's
Indeed, ma'am. I
as
think.
far
Yes. Please, ma'am, continue if you.
and as far as resources are concerned, here we need little bigger aspect, because that's where more government has to intervene. The regulatory bodies have to intervene. A lot of resources are definitely required. There are some Western countries, developed countries, where especially like Germany, where students have been told to create design and government funds it if it's good. Now that's what should be required, right? Not everybody is fortunate enough to have so much of money to start the
Right.
business, and that's where most of the ideas are killed because they don't have resources. So if government can support here without fearing, without looking at the age of the entrepreneur, think about their potential, invest in them, then I see it can be really bright future.
Right. Indeed, ma'am. I think
That's my
this was really a very inspiring words from your side, and I'm sure the viewers, those who are watching this session, they are surely going to find this. And actually, there is a need to demand for this kind of things. We need to set up this kind of environment within our education system as well as in the higher education too. Now, my next question to you is: as you have been into corporate world and you have actually a great experience in that, do you believe that the companies that have visionaries who carry large section of the organization along with them often succeed in driving the change better than the companies that are bureaucratic or whose organizational arteries have been clogged due to the inertia and slowness to adapt to the marketplace.
For sure. Any company, we talk about the biggest of the brands, we have a lot of global example where they could not innovate, they could not think modern, and they were out of business. I don't want to name any brand, but there are many.
Right.
So for any business, it doesn't matter whether you're small, you're mid-size, or you're big. You have to innovate. You have to think from a different modern line. And also inclusion is something which is definitely required. When it talks about corporate, we still see the disparity in terms of packages, in terms of promotions, and of course, the kind of, when HR takes interview of a female, there's always a question in their mind. The female might leave the job or might take a break. So that's something which mentality needs to be really changed. Is you are end of the day professional, and if you look at the IT part in India, we have a very larger segment of female who are working in IT sector in India. So these are people who are example, who are managing both their families and work life together, and they can definitely do that.
Indeed, ma'am. I think it's very hard to disagree with you. And also, ma'am, I can say there's a lot more to learn from you, but today I don't want to take too much of your time. So moving to my last question of this session, actually, or rather it's a kind of a request to you. What are the some advices would you like to give from your experience to all the young generations, to new millennials, if they want to start their entrepreneurship, irrespective they are male or female?
So with whatever experience I have, all I can suggest is one, that you should not be afraid of taking challenges and try something new. In my example, I left my corporate hierarchy at the peak of my career, where I could easily had a salary and I can work in corporate for whole my life. But then I chose to leave it and start something on my own, something which I was passionate about. So if you are really passionate about something, today is the day. Don't think about planning and doing it tomorrow and after 5 years and 10 years down the line. If you want to start business, do it today. There are always challenges, tough time, but you can always overcome that. So that is one. Secondly, think innovative. Globally, there are so many things to achieve. There are not few paths which we have always seen can only be explored. Market is changing. The dynamic of market is changing. And with this, demand for new things are coming. And I see a lot more potential for new startups now. Probably the older version of startup may not work together now anymore. But then there's a lot more to achieve and a lot more to see looking forward in the future. So these are two things from my side, Harsh.
Indeed, ma'am, it was really a very great advice and wonderful advice from your side. I'm sure the viewers who are watching this session, they are surely going to take it. And thank you so much, ma'am, for joining and giving your important time. It was a kind of healthy conversation. We look forward to conduct more such sessions with you in future. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, ma'am.
On the ground is where I stand. Never give up, that was always the plan. It's so cold outside, I'm alone, I'm alright. It's so cold outside, I'm alone.